Today, I want to talk about acquisitions. I get a lot of new wholesalers that say their problem is acquisitions, getting the deals, getting contracts locked up, among other things. Usually, it's getting leads, the acquisition, you're not getting contract signed, and the disposition is selling the deal. So, those are the real big makeups of a wholesale transaction from a overview, but the acquisitions is a big problem for new wholesalers. They don't know how to talk to sellers. They don't know what questions to ask. They don't know how to pull out information. So today I want to go through that kind of quickly in an overview and can get deeper based on feedback or what people think in deeper in future videos. So with the acquisitions, you basically have a lead already. We're going to assume you have the lead, you have somebody to talk to, and now you're going to call to talk to them. So the framework that I use is you got to know if they want to sell or not, and also if they're the owner. So out of the gate, the first question I'm asking is, can I speak to Mr. Seller about the property on 123 Main Street? And they usually will say, yes, that's me. And are you looking to sell that property? And they'll either say yes or no. With the leads I'm working, they're inbound leads. So most of the time they do say they want to sell. So you confirm that they want to sell. If they don't want to sell, then there's other ways to handle those leads. If they do want to sell, then the next question I'm going to be asking them is, great, how much do you want to sell for? So getting the price out of them up front so you know what you're working with and how to back into the situation to try to get their price that they want to work for you. So either that can work or it can't work. And it's a much easier conversation than just give me a price. So a lot of things that people, or when you're first starting out, you don't think that you are calling to buy a property. You are the buyer. They are the seller. And if you have inbound leads, it's a lot easier because they are reaching out to you. They're calling you to sell a property versus someone that's cold calling. You're cold calling people. You don't know that they want to sell or not. And a lot of times that's when you get that, well, just give me a price or what's your offer kind of scenario that you run into a lot when you're first starting out. So the first question is, do you want to sell the property 123 Main Street? Confirm they want to sell. The second question is, how much do you want to sell for? So you're getting that price up front. And the third is, that's great. Tell me a little bit about what you got going on there. So with this step, you're trying to get them to open up, talk about their situation, not necessarily the property, but their situation and the property and what their motivation is to sell. You need to get that motivation out of them to find out the problem they have and how you can solve that problem. When it comes down to it, all we're trying to do is solve seller problems. They have different levels of problems, which has different levels of motivation. And the more motivation they have, the more pain they have, the bigger the problem that you can solve, are usually when the better deals come about. If it's cash deals, then you can get a cheaper price to wholesale for a better price and make more money on that deal. If it's something on a creative route, then maybe you're going to get a good deal out of that as well with a sub two or seller finance or whatever it might be. The framework that I work off of is the closer's formula from RJ Bates, and I'll have a link to that and his information in the description below. So you can take a look at that for yourself. It's not a script per se. It's more of a framework of how to talk to sellers. The other thing that's helped me along the way and in the past is a book called You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. So that's more of a sales process. It's a little more lengthy of a process and more scripted in a way, but they also have a lot of great um, phrases and questions that you can ask a seller to try to get motivation, to get price, to get the property condition and things like that. So that it's more of a sales process for that. That's a book that I've read and I would recommend it if you are getting into any type of sales. It would work. So I'll put a link for that in the description below as well. But um, the one I'm using now and the one that I like is the closers formula from RJ Bates. It's simple, it's to the point. One of the reasons that I like it is I like the aspect of getting the price up front. If they say I want 300,000 and the Zillow price or the retail value is 300,000, you might ask another, tell me a little bit about what you got going on there. I just want to sell and not pay a realtor, or I'm trying to save money on the realtor fees. I'm just trying to see what I can get. So those people is someone that needs to go with a realtor. They want retail price. They really don't have any motivation or reason to sell to you on a discount. And that's someone that you want to move on from as quickly as you can. If you follow some traditional wholesale scripts and scripts that you've seen out there, you might have a 5 or 10 or 15-minute conversation and then realize when you get to asking what the price is, maybe third or fourth down the line, you've wasted 15 minutes on a phone call with someone that you're not going to be able to purchase their property on a discount. So that's why I like this framework formula rather than a script, but asking for the price up front. The second question you're asking has resonated with me a lot because it allows you to choose what type of seller that you're talking to, which I've made a previous video about the 4 types of sellers. So by finding that out up front, you're going to know what kind of seller you're talking to, and you'll be able to move through your leads more efficiently for the people that aren't worth your time being on the phone. And that's helped me a lot get through my leads, but also with the conversations of sellers, finding that price. Then you go into looking at the property values. You can ask them questions about the condition, and you can get some more information out of that and find out if that's a price that you can work within or not. And if you frame it, once talk to, at this point, I've talked to hundreds of sellers, maybe not thousands yet, but have talked to hundreds of sellers and refined my level of being able to talk to them and pull information out of them. You get better at deciphering that, and then you turn them into selling you the property rather than you asking questions to buy the property. And that's a better position to be in. It puts you in the driver's seat, so to speak, to really have them sell you that property, so that if you do come in under their number, you're able to tell them, listen, based on what's going on in the neighborhood, the condition it sounds like it's in, what other homes are buying around this price, and this condition, I can be at X. Is that something that would work for you? And then it's more of a factual based offer that you give them at that point, rather than um, just guessing what I've seen online. And you're giving them that information from facts based on what's sold. They can get addresses, look it up themselves, find out, here's the price I can do within. I'm going to need to put renovation money, the holding costs, I got to pay realtors, and all those situations that are actually part of the transaction. You can present that to them as facts with numbers, and it works or it doesn't. And here's the price that works, where I can still make a little bit of money, and um, would that work for you or not? And then let them make the decision. So, from an acquisition standpoint, what you have to focus on and what I would recommend and what's worked for me is finding out if they want to sell, how much do they want for the property, tell me a little bit about what you got going on, and let them talk. Just shut up, let them talk. You'll obviously have to answer some questions as they go through, but you can feed off of them rather than you talking. The more you talk, the less they talk. The phone call is probably not going to go as well as if you let them talk, you listen, take notes, find out what their real pain, what their real motivation is, and be able to try to solve the problem that they have. And when it comes down to it, if they have a real pain, they might want convenience and speed over price. And that's when the good deals come. And when you get good on the phone and feel confident on the phone talking to sellers and understand what information you need to get from them, then your conversations will go a lot better. I'll put the link for the closer's formula in the description so you can go to that and see that. That's what's worked for me. It's helped me be more confident on the phone and get the information out. I'll also put the link for the book in the description. You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. And also, if you haven't checked it out, go back and watch the 4 sellers video, the 4 types of sellers video that I have. These two kind of tie together. So where you can move through your leads more efficiently, and the leads that you do have, maximize each lead and know who you're talking to when you go into the conversation. Follow along, click the like and subscribe button if this video has given you any value. Any feedback you have will help me get future videos. So please leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel to follow along in my wholesale journey.